Krunchy. Stays crunchy. And milk.
I'm here by myself. I'll have to stop broadcasting. No, we're still live. Okay. Well, T will be back shortly. It's going to be probably a shorter show tonight because T's got to get ready for his family who are arriving tomorrow. So we're going to try to give you a show, but give you the wham bam thank you ma'am version. I don't know if what I'm doing right now is going to play into that factor or not, but we'll see. You know, maybe you'll get a little foreplay before the quick dip, the old lick and go. I hope this is as awkward for you to watch and listen as it is for me to do, because I feel super awkward right now making sexual innuendos by myself on the internet. But all in good fun, right? T was going to start rapping. Do we want to take guesses on what he's going to rap? Because I have no idea. He didn't say. I don't know 90% of the artists that he names because it's not my most listened to genre. So sometimes I just have to play the role of smile and nod. And smile and nod I do. And I would like to think that my skills have grown over these years. So I'm one of the best smilers and one of the best noddlers out there. Nodders. I like noddlers. It sounds fun. Got to see Anthony. If you listen to this past week's episode, I think there was some illness going around. I know I've been sick for the majority of the last week. I'm finally starting to feel better. I don't know if T was ill last week, but he could not record or chose not to. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with could not because it sounds like he didn't have a choice in the matter. But we got to see Anthony. I hadn't seen Anthony in a couple months, so it was nice to see my friend. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Definitely looked a lot healthier from the last time I saw him, but the road to recovery is a long one, and we all have our things that we gotta traverse through. I am starting to worry about T's internet connection because he's been gone for a couple minutes now, and yeah, maybe I could pull up a song and I'll do a little bars here. Man, what have I been listening to? Oh man, I've been listening to some Bad Omens in the car. Man, what's the name of that song that I've been listening a lot to? Give me one moment, internet. As I search my own Spotify, this is what I'm coming to realize lately. I have so many fucking apps on my phone now that oh, he's back. Well, I'm sorry I won't get to do that for you listeners, but hopefully T has fun listening to the riff that I just did for the last 4 minutes.
I had to go for the full reboot. It sounds like somebody's phone is doing the thing again. So that's awful to come back to as well. It's just like,
well, it might have been me because I was trying to dig up Spotify to. I was going to perform because I had no idea how long you were going to be gone. And I know you had promised them rapping, and I was like, I'm not going to rap, but I'll go read you some lyrics. And as I was trying to pull up the song, you came back.
Yeah, that bad boy, like it crashed in a way that I was just like, oh, okay, you crash. Fair. So I'm going to rap you, and we're going to start a show because we're trying to get in and out of this bitch tonight, okay? Is what it is.
I explained it to them. They know. They know the deal.
Good. That's good. Cool people. Where you at? Hey, put them up. Yeah, check it out. I got people who still on parole, on house arrest, with time to the door, pleading no contest, who serve to survive, who never go home, who make dirty money with taps on their phone, who love to hustle on powder and pills, who never go broke, who never pay bills, who act like they know you, who can't be touched, who never say nothing, who don't talk much, who always tripping, who never gonna listen. I got peas on my wall and I ain't talking about pictures. See, upcoming. Whoa, that's once again, I have copied and pasted directly from and it has given me some extra stuff. Wow.
Oh man, bonus lyrics?
No, stuff like it's like an advertising, like see upcoming shows.
No.
I got people who still on parole, on house arrest, with time to the dough, pleading no contest, who serve to survive, who never go home, who make dirty money, with taps on their phone. They don't wear golds. They don't do shows, who don't bust flows. They bust 44s, will throw you a curve, whose bond is their word, who Washington served and OJ heard, with cars and rims, highly respected, live in the streets. You know I'm connected. What's good, people? It's Stage Crunchy and Milk. It's episode 575. And this ain't no Atlanta Del Rey track. I'm your host, Terror713, joined by the other host, the Emperor, the eBay Emperor himself, Lunchbox 2099. We hitting this bitch running. That was Creatine by Cool Breeze off his 1999 banger East Point's greatest hits. And that's just what's popping already, y'all. Like I said, trying to get in and out this motherfucker in about an hour. Let's see what we can do. I got a lot going on, and I'll tell you about it here shortly. So, let me give you a news story real quick. We just talked about it in the chat before, and so I like to pull it over into the podcast because I find it interesting, especially because the way me and Box's insurance works. Well, we're gonna talk about that. So, our local, we have multiple hospital consortiums in the city of Cleveland. It's kind of wild we have so many when you think about it. It's University Systems, it's Metro, and it is the Cleveland Clinic. Now, the Cleveland Clinic is known worldwide. It's a big deal. They have spots in Dubai. They got spots in Florida. They are everywhere. Cleveland Clinic, big deal. Cleveland Clinic did some dumb shit this week. So let's talk about it. Cleveland Clinic doubles back on its upfront copay policy. Patients can still delay a copay somewhat with a 0% interest payment plan. Mark Opera on the byline. So this means this is coming from Ohio Capital Journal, although I pulled it from SKiM Cleveland. Oh no, it does say he's a staff writer on for SKiM. So I guess this is a SKiM story. 10 days after a legal complaint accused them of violating state law, Cleveland Clinic decided this week to roll back a new company policy that would have required patients to pay co-payments before and not after their hospital visit. On May 13th, hospital system based in University Circle announced that all patients would have to pay co-pays up front for non-ER related services. That is, save for Medicaid, cancer, and some urgent care patients. The following week, Cassandra McDonald, a local policy analyst covering civil rights issues, filed a civil complaint in Cuyahoga County Court that accused the Cleveland Clinic of both discrimination and for failing to notify its customers at least a month before the policy change was set to go into effect on June 1st. Co-pays, McDonald argued, should be paid after the flu test or STI check are carried out. This policy is overzealous and disproportionately affects financially vulnerable patients, including low-income individuals, elderly patients, and those with chronic illness, she wrote in the complaint, creating unreasonable financial barriers to healthcare access. On Wednesday, the Cleveland Clinic listened. I like the way they phrased that. Although it kept the requirement, come Sunday, for non-emergency outpatient services from therapy to lab tests and primary care, it added the option for customers to pay over the long run with a 0% interest payment plan. Its reasons leaned on self-sympathy. More than half copays, the company said in a statement, were not paid by patients throughout 2024. We are required to collect copays. Doing so maintains our ability to provide the highest quality care to every patient who needs our services and invest in the communities we serve. Cleveland City Council, fresh off announcing $165 million of medical debt relief for hundreds of thousands of Cuyahoga County residents, lauded the decision to roll back what seemed a bit harsh from the get-go. Last week, Cleveland Clinic reps, including Chief Community Officer Vicki Johnson, sat at the table in council chamber to listen to grievances that echoed those in McDonald's complaint. I had honest conversations with the executive team at the Cleveland Clinic about how the policy could hurt people in our community, Council President Blaine Griffin said in a statement Thursday. I'm truly grateful they took the time to listen and have made changes to help ensure folks can still get the care they needed. Now, here's the deal. My doctors all my stuff, my doctor situation is Cleveland Clinic based. So is my kid. My lady goes to university. Aunt goes to university. Box goes to university. I don't think that's a HIPAA violation because I don't work for none of these motherfuckers. I just know this. If I were to go reach behind me, grab my wallet, pull out my insurance card, clean as day on my insurance card that pays for my health care, it says, do not collect copay at time of visit. That's the law that my insurer has set forth. I walk in the Cleveland Clinic here, let's say at some point this year. I got to go to the doctor probably some point this year. May I not have to go anytime soon. What it's about to be? It's going to just be beef. Because now I got to treat them bad. Now I have to play them like the bitches they are behaving like. You know what I'm saying? I like Cleveland Clinic. I like my doctor. I like the office. But if they going to be on some hoe shit, well, then I got to play hoe shit. We can play the game. And so now next time I go in there, well, okay, it's definitely going to be, see right here where it says to not collect copay. You won't get paid otherwise. I will complain to my insurer if you want to play this. And we'll just do that shit. Because if they want to fucking play with the poor, who can't, I can pay my copay. I have a card just for it. In fact, that also is a part of my insurance. Nothing to it. But I don't like that they're trying to play with the people who don't have that. And so now I just got to be a little bitch every time I go into the doctor's office and play them motherfuckers out. Because you ain't going to be doing this to the poor. You ain't going to be doing this to the least amongst us. Without some of us who are a little more better off having to come fight the fight for you a little bit. Yes, Box, I know it seems dumb, but I got to do it, baby.
Well, no, I mean, I understand because they pulled that shit on me last year at university hospitals. I went in for my summer checkup.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you need to pay this. And I'm just like, but my insurance card that I just handed you says I don't have to pay this right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, our policy now has changed and we want to collect it up front. And I'm like, why? But the problem is you can't fight with them. Because they have signs posted all throughout the office is like, they don't take aggression. If you get aggressive, they'll just fucking cancel your appointment and kick you out.
Oh, see, I'll be gently aggressive because I know how to do that. And it's simply going to be, my apologies, you will have to take that up with my insurer. That's not on me. The policy is as such. Your policy is opposite of their policy. What can I do but tell you to go ahead and give them a call? I'm going to go see my doctor. And he's not going to give a fuck about this because he just won't. Because he's here to, talk to.
Well, I mean, and the thing about it is with these doctors being in network of these insurance companies, aren't they supposed to abide by the rules of the insurance companies that they're partnered with?
Exactly. Which is my point. Which is like, hey, buddy, I'm not getting loud. I'm not getting mad. I'm telling you. You have the insurance card you have here. I can give it to you, but also you have it on record. Go ahead. The phone number's right there for providers to call them. You give them a call. I'm gonna go see the doctor. When I get back, we can discuss it. But for up until that, that's it. That's just what it has to be. It just drives me insane that we live in a country that doesn't have universal health care. That's just what it comes down to. It sucks. It sucks that we have to do this and have to fight for our damn lives, quite literally, for the bullshit like this, man. That was your only news story of the week. It ticked me off. And then when they changed their mind about it, but they didn't really change their mind. It's a 0 interest loan. Don't do that. Don't put people in debt on some bullshit.
Man, did you see what is it, Clack or Cleek or whatever, the company that was offering the
Klarna.
the loans?
Yeah,
the loans for the Chipotle burritos lost $90 million or whatever off that shit.
Bro, Klarna is a weird idea to begin with. I know you're just like, it's just credit. Everybody does credit, but they don't seem to be collecting their bread. So it's weird that you would do that.
As soon as you started reading the thing about the Cleveland Clinic and doing no interest payments, I was like, man, they partnered up with the burrito people.
Klarna for healthcare is what your show title just became. Oh my gosh, man. It's just I don't get it, bro. It's insane. It bothers me to my being, y'all. That's what got me so worked up off of that. So y'all have to forgive me for that. Okay. Anyway, man, we back up in this bitch again. You know what it is, man. Since I told you we hitting this bitch running, so of course I'm saying in the box. If you have anything ready, if you have something this night, and if not, no worries.
Sure.
All right, then Box God has a pretty sweet intro that I very much love playing. Let's see if it doesn't crash my computer. That'd be nice. Fingers crossed.
I hope it's like the Wonder Years where like you got me like playing in the front yard by a white picket fence, and then like me looking lovingly into like my crush's eyes as I kiss for the first time, and then all of a sudden I'm getting on a boat to war. And then,
I thought it would involve books in some way, story time, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess reading Rainbow works too. So this past Saturday, we my sister had like her belated graduation cookout for getting her doctorate a few months ago.
Yeah. And
it was at like a local metro park. They like my parents rented a pavilion, and they did like party games there, which I guess we're running back for her. Like, this is another thing. My the same sister's getting married at the end of August. So there's like various wedding events that are taking place throughout the summer.
Yeah.
And they're doing like a bridal shower in July, but it's this weird hybrid bridal shower where the men folk are also supposed to come. So I have to go to a bridal brunch next month, in July, that like doesn't normally happen. But whatever, I digress. Apparently, these party games that we played at this cookout are going to be kind of ran back at the bridal brunch. And I don't think it's going to be fair for them if I participate, because I absolutely fucking crush these games. And I was a little surprised because like the portions of the games required like a general knowledge base of my sister.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, my sister, when I was still living at home, she's the youngest.
Yeah.
Like, she's like just like recently old enough to get off of like our parents' health insurance. Like, wow. She's like 26, 27, however fucking old that is.
Yeah.
I'm about to be 40. So like I was already a teenager by the time my sister was born. So like it wasn't like her and I were kicking it, and like when I moved out of the house, I was like, I want to say like 19, 18. Like probably I think when I moved into my mom's, I was like 19 or so. And so like my sister would have been like 6, 7. So it's like I didn't know her as a person per se. I knew her as the little girl that made the mess with the Barbies in her bedroom. And then I left. And I was away from home for a very long time. Like, it wasn't like I was coming back multiple times to visit. Like, there was a few years there where, like, I didn't come home at all.
Wow.
So like, I didn't see, like, middle school, high school, like, a lot of that. Like, so there's a lot of, like, history there that I wasn't privy to that was a part of these games. But somehow, my ability to do deductive reasoning and just process of elimination allowed me to crush these fucking games. So the first game was they did like 15 pictures throughout her life from when she was born to like now. And they put them in picture frames and they put numbers on them. And they gave us all a sheet of paper and we had to write which number was her era. They were basically stealing Taylor Swift's Eras Tour premise, where each picture represented an era. So like one era was like her toddler era, the other era was like her toothless era, where she had like her teeth were knocked out and they were growing back or whatever, like she lost her baby teeth. There was like her kindergarten era, her like mom era, quote unquote, because that's when she got her dog or whatever. So like, but you get the idea. So we had to pick out like which picture represented which era.
Okay.
And then we also had to figure out, there was a list of locations. We had to put what location said era took place at in the picture from a list down below. And then there was also a trick where one of the locations was used twice and they didn't put that in the instructions. So, as I have stated, I wasn't there for like when she went to like prom or when she went to homecoming or like, you know, some of these like rando ass like hanging with her friends pictures. So it's like I had to like go through, figure out what I knew or what I might have actually been at, and then put the pieces together and then kind of like look at the backgrounds of pictures. I felt like I was doing good thing I've been watching The Mentalist and I watched Psych because I was able to look at these pictures and go, all right, that light pole she's standing at next to this park. Let me look at all the locations, and then like one of the parks like names at the bottom. So I Google that park, and I pull up Google Images, and I'm looking at images of the park, and I'm like, all right, that's that fucking light pole right there. So that I'm able to like get that one marked off, and then like that left like the Cuyahoga Valley Metro part, and so it's like I'm fucking piecing this shit together, and I'm like, all right, I think I got this. So like one of my stepmom's childhood friends, she was like asking me like answers of things, and like I ended up giving her the wrong answer because like at one point I had one of them wrong, and like I ended up figuring it out by getting all the other ones. So I had to like fix like something on my sheet, but she already turned her shit in. So like I turned my paper in, and I felt pretty confident, right? So then I'm like outside the pavilion away from everybody while like my sisters and my stepmom are grading the forms from everybody.
Your papers.
And I'm talking to my cousin and my uncle and everything. And then like all of a sudden I hear my name and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, you won. You got 100% right. And then that lady that I gave the wrong answer to comes out the fucking pavilion yelling, like, you gave me the wrong answer. Well, yes, I did.
It was not intentional or with malice, but yeah, that did happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I was like, oh, cool. I got 100%. And then there was also a lot of pressure put on me to perform because they're like, oh, you got to be a good. They basically wanted me to prove that I was a good big brother by knowing all this shit. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, I wasn't even here for half this shit. So I'm like, you're putting a lot of expectations on me that I think are unfair. So then the second game was 5 Taylor Swift albums she put onto a piece of paper. We had to figure out the name of each album and her favorite song off of each album.
Okay, see, that's some effort. That's some effort.
Yeah, so like I promised I would not cheat and Google the fucking albums. Yeah, because I'm like that. We can easily do that. Yeah. So I was still sitting out there with my uncle and my cousin, and I like basically I knew the one album because it was her first album. So it was like I knew 1 out of the 4.
Okay.
The thing is, it's like everyone who knows me or has listened to me talk on the show knows I like OG Taylor, like original Taylor, like country girl, guitar, heartbroken by a boy, teenage love, angst Taylor. I like appreciate certain, evolutions of Taylor, but like I really rode hard for OG Taylor.
Yes.
So I didn't like go out and like listen to all of her later albums from beginning to end or whatever. Like I'd hear songs here and there through radio play and various other avenues. So I am not entirely familiar with the names of all of her, succeeding albums and the singles or the random songs off of those albums. But as I previously stated, I am very good at deductive reasoning. And so I knew the one album already, like, because I knew that one. So then there were 4. It was just Taylor Swift. It was the first one.
Okay, it's literally just Taylor, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So then there were 4 other albums, and each album had like its own vibe about the cover art. Like the one, she looked kind of like her hair was kind of wet and slicked back, and she was trying to look like kind of moody. There was one where she was just wearing like a button-up t-shirt and it had kind of like a Technicolor background. There's one where she had her hair like kind of braided and she's like in like a meadow next to a tree. And then I forget what the fourth one was off the top of my head, but it had its own like vibe about it. So then I just looked at the remaining album names and I was like, all right, well, this one feels like this one feels like this one, and so on and so forth, right? And then I looked at the song titles and I'm like, all right, this one feels like it would fit this theme. And you know, I just did that all the way through, right?
Yeah.
Didn't pull up Google at all. Turned the paper in, and then like a couple minutes later, my sister comes over yelling at me. She goes, "Did you cheat?" And I'm like, "No, why?" She goes, "You got second place." And I was like, "Oh shit, word?" And she's like, "Yeah, you just flipped two of the answers." I was like, "Oh, cool." She's like, "All right, we'll go get another prize." Because so what the prizes were like Bath Body Works, like the soaps, with like little lotion bottles and shit. They made little like lotion soap bags or whatever. So I had like my lotion soap bag from winning first place in the first game. Then I had my lotion bag from getting second in the second game. So then they do a third game, which I didn't even fucking realize that I read the instructions wrong when I would like went through. So they gave us a piece of paper and there were 13 questions on it. And apparently what we were supposed to be doing was picking which one we thought was my sister and which one we thought was Taylor Swift. It was like, it'd be like, what's their favorite animal? And then it would say like cat and dog. And we were supposed to like pick which one was Taylor Swift and which one was my sister.
Yeah. And
I didn't fucking realize that until I filled out the whole fucking paper. And I'll be honest, I guessed on a couple of them because like I said earlier, I wasn't around for some of my sister's, you know, firsts or some of her like deep likes and whatever. Like I know a lot about my sister, but like I don't know the finer points. Like there's a large age gap and we were at different points in our lives. I was gone, she was a kid, like so it's not like I'm hanging out with her and be like, "Oh man, what's your favorite animal?" Like I have an assumption based on the animals she owns, but like I've never actually had that conversation. So I like filled it out, and then after I filled it out and we were all getting ready to like sit around and like go over the answers, I realized I fucked up and I was like, "Oh shit, I did this like not thinking what I thought it was." So like I said, there were and like I think I would have gotten the last question right had I understood what we were doing.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I still got 12 out of 13 and got first place.
Having read it wrong.
Had the instructions wrong, I just coincidentally happened to like
make it right in your head.
Make it right in my head, but by not like doing it on the paper exactly the way it was supposed to be done. But I ended up circling which answer I thought was my sister. I didn't realize it was which one. I just literally thought they were asking straight up, like, what's your sister's favorite animal? Yeah. Which was your sister's favorite car? I didn't realize that each opposite answer was Taylor Swift. So it's like some of the questions, like I knew Taylor Swift's lucky number because it's been in a fucking Capital One commercial. I just got it right because I thought the number that I circled was my sister's birthday number, like day of birth in June. If I had understood what I was actually doing, I would have known it was right because like I knew the answer for Taylor Swift. Yeah. So obviously the opposite would be my sister. So like my reasoning on a couple of them were wrong, but I ended up getting there in the end anyway. So at this point, now we're 3 games in out of 4, and I've gotten first, second, first. And people are looking at me like, what the fuck? And so then some people start yelling like, hey, he's not allowed to play in the last game. And honestly, at this point, I'm like, that's fine. I don't want to take any more fucking hand soap home. But they make me play. And this last game, and spoiler, I did not prize in this last game. This last game was a little challenging. What they did was they gave you an unfilled out bingo board. And then they would read out a question like, what's her favorite holiday? And so then you have to guess what you think her favorite holiday is. And then you have to figure where you want to put it on the bingo board. And so we go through the whole bingo board with doing random questions like that. And so not only do you got to try and get bingo, you have to hope that you got enough answers right and you put them in the right spots to get the bingo.
Yeah.
So there was 24 questions. I got 12 right. But I didn't have 5 in a row, so I didn't get a bingo.
I mean, not bad.
Honestly, yeah. Like there were a couple that I was sure were right that I ended up getting wrong, and I learned a lot.
Fair. I love that they gave these party games a test drive, which is probably smart when you think about it. Like, let's make sure this actually these play well. You were a game tester.
Yeah.
And the best at the bunch, actually. So nice.
Well, now too, I kind of feel like I don't have to run it back at the bridal shower because I'm like, we go through this once. You know, I'm going to remember most of the answers, if not like all of this. So it's like it's like cheating,
up, right?
They made it sound like it's almost going to be like a complete run back because, like, I think a lot of the guests at the bridal shower are going to be different.
Oh, okay.
Or there's going to be at least more. So it's like, I feel like I shouldn't participate at the bridal shower.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's cheating at that point. Like,
yeah.
I imagine some other people there will also be the same. But I have to imagine that, like, my memory when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to, like, gaming, is probably better than theirs. So they're not going to, like, commit some of this shit to memory like I did or would. And so it'll be, like, fine if they run it back. Yeah. But if I run it back, like, we're probably getting like almost every single one right.
Like, I'm skunking all you bitches. Oh my god, that's a lot of fun though. That's a good little, you know. Sometimes you got to just make somebody the center of attention. That's a real fun that you got to be. She got to really be the focus. You know what I'm saying? And y'all get to party out with her. Good shit, man. You're a good brother, bro. Comes down to it. Just for being there and playing makes you a good brother. The fact you knew all that, figured out all of that. Pretty dope.
I mean, like, on the pictures, like, some of them, like, I knew just based on, like, her age and, like, kind of where she was or whatever. I was able to figure that out. Like there was only one picture with her in a kindergarten, in a school classroom. So it's like, all right, well, that had to be kindergarten or elementary school era or whatever. You know, it's like, what else could that really be? There were like a few where it was like, all right, you kind of had to like really dial it in. And like I said, some of them, like the college ones, I was lucky because I was there for both of them. Like when she got her degree or whatever, her white coat, and then when she got like her actual doctorate, so I was there for both of them. Yeah. And like once I Googled the name of the location at the bottom, because I was like Walter B. whatever the fuck it was, it was the name of the auditorium at CSU. Okay. But like before I Googled it, I didn't remember that that's what that was. So like as soon as I Googled it and saw what it was, I was like, oh well, fuck, okay, it's either this one. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's this one.
Fair. I bank with it, man. In general, though, like, are you just I don't know. Are you excited for all these little family events you got popping off here? And 2025 has been a wild boy already, man. So I'm never excited, and it's not like, all right, I should say not. I'm rarely excited, and it's not because of like apathy or anything. It's just strictly social anxiety. So like going to that, it's fine, but like there's also a part of me that's like, all right, I got to go see a bunch of people today that I rarely ever see, whether they're friends and family that I know. There's still that part of me that's like, oh my god, are they gonna ask me a bunch of questions today? Is everything gonna go all right? Like it's something that, like it's like you can't help it. Like I have a hard time turning off that voice in my head that just lets me kind of have fun in the moment. Once I get the ball rolling, you're fine.
It generally it goes away. But that all that time leading up to it, there's just kind of like dread, and it's for like everything.
Yeah,
we booked the
thing, so I kind of know.
Yeah. Yeah, like we booked the trip now for Atlanta. Like the I have to put in my time. I'm actually going to do that tomorrow while my boss is still my new boss is still my new boss before I get my new boss on Monday. But I'm gonna put in my time for that. Like the tickets are bought and the hotel's booked, so now I just gotta put in the PTO time. So I'm looking forward to it, but like I'm also kind of nervous because like I'm trying to. I texted my buddy yesterday. He was messaging me about something. And this is a buddy who's not going. He's not. He doesn't know these people. And he asked me about this like product he bought from Magic the Gathering, and I told him that like about how I'm going to that Atlanta thing, and I asked him, I'm like, do you think I'm debating right now whether I do the degenerate thing and I save up some money and I drop like $2,000 to $3,000 on a piece of power, or if I just buy like a dual land while I'm there and live below my means. And it's a real debate because like there's like I'm turning 40, so it's a milestone.
Yeah,
I kind of want to celebrate it with something nice, which not to say either thing isn't nice, but one is like a thing, like it's a multi-$1,000 investment thing that like I'd be spending like $2,000 to $3,000 to have a thing sit in my personal safe to probably never be used. Versus spending maybe like $400 to $800 on something and occasionally using it in a time where the economy's bad and I have personal goals, and uncertain job security long term, versus like buying something that would mean a lot to me to basically have for the rest of my life, but just only look at it. Maybe pull it out every now and again, but like not really. So it's like I've got 4 months to debate this.
That was my question, and I'm not, you will do what you will do. Are you really going to look at it or enjoy it or do anything with it?
Well, the thing is, like, very rarely do opportunities come to use said objects.
Yeah.
And when those opportunities do come, they usually allow proxy stand-in copies of said products. So the real one doesn't get bent up or damaged further or whatever. You use the proxy version. So in a lot of those cases, you don't even need to own the real version. Yeah. So owning the real version in this case would just be kind of a personal treasure vanity item rather than an actual need.
This is what I gotta side with your pop and just tell you, go buy some gold.
That's a personal debate I've been having as well about whether or not I should. I even had this talk with my dad last week where I was like telling him how like I was unsure if like for a while if I was going to put extra money on the mortgage, or if I should just like buy Bitcoin with it or something.
Man, it's we wild out here, bruv. All right. Well, there you go, man.
I put it into ChatGPT the other night, and it told me that if I'm unsure on which path I personally think is better, that I could always just do a bit of both. So even ChatGPT was afraid to make a decision.
Wishy-washy AF. AI, even the AI can't make no damn decision. But that's what's up.
Yeah, it was like, well, you could do it this way for these reasons, or you could do it this way for these reasons. Or you could just do a little bit of both. I'm like, thanks, ChatGPT. Way to not fucking come to an active conclusion.
Jesus Christ. You wasted a gallon of water for that, for an answer, a question that never got answered. Some bullshit. Oh, my gosh. There you go. You know what I'm saying? There you go. You got the story time lunchboxes. Lovely. I loved it. You loved it. There you go. We keep them motherfucking rolling.
You better have loved it.
I trust they did. And if you didn't, fuck you. Okay, that's a little harsh. But
that's harsh, yeah.
But if you didn't, keep that to yourself. Better?
If you didn't like it, you need to look inside at yourself.
Ask yourself, what's really going on here?
What's up with me?
All right, y'all. So, tea time. Pinky's out, because it's classy. My kid finished school last week. Graduate this coming Sunday. Very excited about that. Exciting times in the world of tea. I posted on Instagram for the first time in a very long time because of that. And That's lovely. It just happened to post it the same day I was posting stuff for the show for Krunchy's Days last episode. So it's like I actually had a double post situation on Instagram that were and it's just hilarious how that all worked out. But whatever. Whole point being, my mom and my big sister is coming up here tomorrow from when we record this to be here for graduation. Okay. My sister, not to be putting her business in the streets, but let me just be real with you, was basically a victim of Elon's Doge organization, and was one of the many people who lost their job working for the government. We'll see how that all plays out when it's all said and done, but because some people getting their jobs back and whatever, but it sucks. And because of that, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Don't waste no money on a hotel. Just come through, stay here. Xander's room is empty. He don't be here. Just come, you know what I'm saying? You got his room. And she's like, you know what? I'll take you up on that, T. And I'm like, smart. But that meant me having to go in my son's room where she has not lived in now, probably it feels like a couple of years, and never cleaned. And you think, what does that mean, T? Box, the amount of garbage, clothes, toys and shit. Old cheese sticks still in the wrapper. Just drug paraphernalia. Which means my son has been vaping probably for years. Liquor. Which means my son, who just turned 21 last year, has probably been drinking his way through high school. And just gross. Just a mess. It's not done. I'm not done. I probably should have called the night off, but we didn't do a show last week, and I didn't want to, go like 2 for. But it's not done. Dust as thick as fucking the sands of the Sahara. Just gross.
Can I ask, and I'm not, it's not my business or whatever. Is there a reason why you didn't just make him come home and do it?
So, I did have him come, and he did assist, and he got a lot of trash out, got clothes bagged up and stuff like that there, but he don't live here, and I think he just got to the point where he's like, I don't fucking live here, fuck it, I'm out. I hit him up tonight. He was like, hey man, it'd be dope if you slid through here and help me finish this shit off, and no response. Because guess what? He does not live here. That's the reality of it is. That's more my room now than his room now. And that's just true. And so, like I said, last week I had him and his brother. They help each other out and got a lot of the stuff out of the room. And then I've been doing it for the last few days, just getting in there, getting more trash out, getting the clothes out, so forth and so on, and today, so the way he had his bed situated, it was just up against the wall where the windows at. But that's fine for him. But my mom and my sister gonna be sharing that bed. And that what would happen at that point is somebody would be locked in the bed up against the wall if I did, flip the room around. So I flipped the room around. So I flipped the bed to be on the far wall so you can get in on either side of the bed. And right now, Box, my hands and my back hurt so bad because I had to flip a bed without taking it apart. So I had to lift an entire bed that still right now is full of shit because there's still stuff I have to go put somewhere, probably in the attic, probably in the basement, a little bit of both. And I'm not mad. Slightly frustrated. Frustrated is actually just what I actually am. Because I'm just like, Jesus Christ, it's such a mess. It's like, how did you live and sleep in this hovel this whole time? It was like, it's straight out of Hoarders, dog. Just trash. Like, not hoarding anything, just not throwing shit away. And so it's like old chip bags and old, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, cheese stick, you know what I'm saying, wrappers and crystal light.
I get it. So it's not like me right now where I've got collectibles behind me that I haven't organized on a shelf or, that kind of shit. It's literally just I finished my dinner and then didn't bother to throw the trash into the trash can.
That and just loose video games. And I mean, disc, cartridges, so forth and so on.
Oh man, that's probably the thing that hurt you the most.
Only because you know how organized I am.
Mm-hmm.
So you come to my shelf of video games, alphabetized by console, and so forth and so on. Well organized. Same as my records over here. But his shit just here, there, everywhere. And I'm just like, Christ on a cracker, boy. And I'm just like, I cannot. I can't. And it's just like I said, it's just a straight up gross ass mess. And I have until basically 10 o'clock tomorrow to get it all done. We'll see if I can pull that off. No, we'll see. It has to be pulled off. There is no whatever. It will be done. So I will probably be up, late doing that stuff. I bought my mom. Where did I put it? It's over there. I bought an air purifier for the one just so my mom has asthma. And so it used to be, Jinx's dander would get her going. But I just think at this point, that room is gross. It probably will need this air purifier just for her to be able to breathe well. So I'm glad I got that. And of course, I'm taking it back right when they leave. I'm probably going to have it in the car to take back Monday. When I go drop them off at the airport, we're going to just go up the road to Best Buy and drop that back off. Like, give me that money back, please. Thank you. So, but yeah, I'm relatively prepared for the visit. Like I said, I got to get some sheets and stuff washed and put on the bed and so forth. But it's okay. I'm going to say it's funny because I just recorded with Delvin Tuesday, Delvin Cox Experience, his Father's Day episode, which will be out around Father's Day, and it's just like I'm talking on that show about how much I love being a dad, how much I love my children. And now I'm telling you on my own show, I could choke that motherfucker to death right now for how bad he left this room. And of course, I love him with all that I am. But I'm just like, this is so gross, bro. But let me tell you something. The amount of change I come out this room with, that I have a can over here of change that I just, and I'm just like, I came out there tonight. I'm saying after what I'm going to call the last floor sweep. The floor, okay, is finally done. And I'm saying I just got to get the bed now and then get the shelves back. Because I had to take some stuff out of the room to flip the bed because it's just like stuff in there. But I came out here pocket heavy with change. I was like, let me get all this and just drop this change over here in this my change situation. Oh my God. And so I don't know, man. That one is a stressor. And like I said, I'm not tripping about it. My mom and my sister are not going to come in this house and be like, it's dirty or it's nasty. They don't care. I guarantee you, because that's what it is. People don't notice. You worry that people are going to notice. But how many places have you walked into and just like not even picked up on it? Unless it's just real gross. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, most people, like, I understand people live in their houses. I don't walk into people's homes and expect them to be spotless. Now, I told you I was sick, so like I was out of commission for a couple of days earlier in the week. Sunday, when I finally like was coherent in the afternoon, I woke up to like some pictures my one buddy sent to our group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Now the pictures I saw in that group chat that day, that is like hoarder house, like how do these people live like this kind of pictures. Most houses I go into, I don't expect that.
Yeah.
So I expect like people have stuff like it's like I have stuff on my coffee table in the living room, and it's like when I've had people over, I was like, "Oh, I wish you would have said something. I would have cleaned." I'm like, "Clean for what?" I'm like, I have stuff in my house. Who gives a fuck? I don't care if people see that I left stuff on my coffee table. It's my coffee table. I can put my shit wherever I want in my own fucking house.
Exactly. Now, don't get it twisted. The house will be clean. Dishes will be done. Everything will be wiped down, and trash will be taken out, and so forth and so on. It will be clean in this house to come tomorrow by the time my mama arrives. But at the same time, I know it'll all be truly, and I told Vanessa as much. I said, this is all going to be for naught. She will not notice it. She's not going to be thinking, oh, it's such a clean house. She will not give a single solitary fuck. She's going to be like, that plane ride was a lot. I think I'm going to lay down. Or she's going to be like, let me just sit and kick it with you for a little bit, TD, or whatever. That's it. You know what I'm saying? None of this will be of any consequence because it's just not of any consequence. Man, I kind of want to wipe my dash off and get that car cleaned out. I'll see if I can get that done in the morning because I got to take the kid. The kid has a commencement practice rehearsal is what they call it. Sorry, tomorrow. So I can probably get that done in the morning. But yeah, man, and again, that's just my own thought. I'm worried. Oh, I don't want them in a dirty car, but also they don't care. Once they have a place to sit and ain't sitting in gross. Although currently, with the amount of midges we have around here, bruh, let me tell you, man. Because I hit the windshield wiper the other night. I had them drove through a bunch of them, and like it's just smeared all across my windshield. I was like, God damn, it's so fucked up. But then I've just been running the windshield wiper and not thinking about it. But I was like, man, what is piling up over here on this edge of the windshield wiper blade? Just midge guts. I was like, this is disgusting. It's utterly the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I'm like, I got a paper towel out the glove box. I said, let me just wipe that edge down. It was like the slime they used to give you for Ghostbusters and He-Man toys. It was disgusting. I was like, oh, no bueno. So tomorrow at some point, I'll put gas in the car and I'll give the windshield a good rogering and try to wipe down the dash to my liking. And just what it is to be me some days, y'all. So there you go. There is your tea time. If you have a kid who has moved out and has left a bunch of shit behind, tell me your story. I'd like to know it. Told you we're trying to get this done quick, so let me click this button here. You know what I'm saying? Each week we head to the mean streets of Reddit, down deeper into the subreddit. Am I the asshole? And
you get one butthole this week.
A singular butthole. But we're gonna find out. All right, Box. You got 3 here. Your options. You let me know the one you choose. Would I be the asshole if I take my Xbox to college? Am I the asshole for confronting my mom for asking my best friend about hiring me a prostitute? And am I the asshole for walking my friend's under-exercised dog more than they usually do, which led to vet costs and now drama?
I feel like that one's the most like relatable, maybe.
Then there you go. The other 2 might be here next week. I don't know.
The prostitute one was like my set was like a close second. Like that one had my interest, but the dog one, I feel like we can do this one.
All right, taking just what you have there. Am I the asshole for walking my friend's under-exercised dog more than they usually do, which led to vet costs and now drama? Just what I've given you. Is this person an asshole?
No.
Okay. So this one's been sitting heavy on me, and I'd love to get an outside perspective. My friend, let's call them J and P, adopted a 2-year-old rescue dog. I'll call him B. About 3 months ago. Before that, B had lived in the basement with little to no stimulation. He's a super sweet dog, but noticeably under-exercised. They walk him about 1 to 2 clicks per day, and he's alone for 6 to 8 hours daily. He often seems restless, whiny, overly excited around other dogs. Classic sign of understimulation, in my opinion. I took care of B for a weekend while they were away. During that time, I gave him more attention and longer walks. One day, we covered about 10 clicks total, spread out through the day.
All right, time out. This person is a bit of an asshole.
Based on what? What sways you in this little bit of reading?
Based on them forcing the dog to do 5 times its activity with no training or notice.
Yeah. He was He was noticeably calmer, more relaxed, and just generally seemed happier. I honestly felt like he needed that. When I returned him, he was fine. The next day, they messaged me saying he had hip pain and that they had to call a vet. I felt awful, but also a bit confused because he hadn't shown any signs of discomfort with me, and I did pace things gently. The vet said there was nothing structurally wrong, maybe a strain or muscle soreness, and gave them painkillers. We later had a conversation where I calmly expressed that I'd step back from walking or looking after B to avoid overstepping again, and to respect their way of handling things. Even though I still strongly feel the dog needs more stimulation, the talk started off calm, but escalated when Jay suddenly accused me of not wanting to pay the vet bill. That threw me off because at that point, the bill hadn't even come up in our conversation. It genuinely hadn't been discussed. Yet not because I was avoiding it, but because we hadn't gotten there. I would have gladly offered to help if it had been addressed normally. After that, I sent a message offering to pay part of the bill, asking for the receipt, and reiterating that the friendship matters to me. P later replied saying emotions were high, Jay's under a lot of stress, and that Jay needs time. I get that life is hard and I don't want to be insensitive, but I feel a bit hurt and misunderstood. I never meant to overstep. I really cared about B and just wanted to give him what I thought he was missing. So, am I the asshole for walking the dog significantly more than they do, trying to do the right thing, and now stepping back and being accused of not wanting to pay, even though we hadn't gotten to that part of the conversation yet?
So, I understand that their intentions were good, but you can't go from like couch to marathon just.
Sir, I cannot express to you how clear you are about this. I'm going to get you 2 comments and you'll see how clear you are about this. As someone in rescue/rehab, you're the asshole. If you knew the dog's current exercise routine and deliberately exceeded it by such a significant amount, you want to make some kind of a point that you think you know better than the owners. I never meant to overstep. Girl, be so for real. Your actions were very deliberately an overstep. Just because a dog is tired doesn't mean that they are enriched or happy, and you ultimately caused them an injury. You could have easily introduced some training, sniffy games, or foraging opportunities if you felt they needed more. Instead, you took a dog used to 1 to 2 click walks max and took him for 10 clicks in one day. That's super irresponsible, and I'm glad you will not be providing care for the dog in the future. That's a glow in the dark comment. The one beneath is where I say is what I'm speaking to you on. I'm just picturing that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney goes all arrogant, saying it's not that hard to run a marathon, and he'll do it without training like Marshall is. Does the marathon, then his legs completely give out on the subway, and he can't move for hours and needs to be rescued. There's a reason there's so many fitness plans that are like couch to 10K. And they don't say get off the couch and run 10K. So you just said that. Also, dogs will often hide or disguise discomfort or pain when outside the home instinctively because it would put them at a higher risk in the wild. Predators look for old or infirm because they're easier kills. Box and Reddit and I all agree, yes, this person's an asshole. It is fucked up what you did to that poor dog. The dog may not have been hurt right then and there. Let me tell you something. Last Friday, a week ago, so Friday. I go to what the fuck? Crocker Park. I wanted to get a book for the kids' last day of school, and I knew they had it at Barnes and Noble. So I park in the garage. You know how Crocker is. I park in the garage. I walk over to Barnes and Noble, which is already a few steps, but not a lot of steps. And on the door at Barnes and Noble, it says cash only, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You know, I don't keep cash. But I know there's a bank at the end of Crocker, just clear across the other. I'm like, I can get some steps in, nothing to it. Well, guess what? I have not been walking that hard recently. So I walk my ass all the way to the bank, and I walk back to Barnes & Noble, and I'm fine. Like, oh, check me out. Getting the steps in that I hadn't gotten in a while. You know what I'm saying? Got some calories burned. That night, and then later, the next day, I was in ruination. It was bad. Ankles was hurting. Arches were hurting. I was like, oh, I am fucked. Because guess what? I don't do that much exercise right now. I want to get back to there. But I have not been there because it's been winter and cold and wet. And in this case, right now, we're filthy with midges. If you don't know about that, look it up. It's awful. And so I feel bad. I feel like this old dog. Like, bruh, I do, a couple of clicks. That's it. And I'm okay with that. I know it seems like I should be doing more. Cool. Then do a click and 2.5 clicks, a little extra, not 10. 10 is far too much. Far too much. That poor dog. So, yeah, you're an asshole. You know you're an asshole. Fucking asshole. How dare you? Entertainment box. What you watching, what playing, listen to, doing? You know how it is.
I've been watching The Mentalist. I am about halfway through season 5 now. and which is kind of making me sad because I think there's only like 6.5 seasons.
Mm.
So like I'm rapidly reaching the conclusion.
Yeah.
I watched the AEW pay-per-view on Sunday.
How was it?
And it was fine.
Okay.
Like I probably would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't, felt like I was dying of illness.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a pretty. That's the thing about AEW is like the weekly programming can be very hit or miss, but the pay-per-views are usually pretty fucking good for the most part. So very very rarely do they irritate me. I saw that Captain America is on Disney Plus now, the new one. So
Brave New World.
I'll end up what. Yeah, I saw that like right before we started recording, so I'll probably end up watching that at some point in the next couple days.
I'm going to tell you, go into that one with the right attitude, and I say this because it ended up suffering through a couple of rewrites and some reshoots because of the Israeli-Palestinian war situation, and so what was intended to go another direction ended up having to go another direction because of the world.
Wasn't that the same shit that happened with the television show?
That was COVID. They had to do reshoots and shit for COVID. COVID got them, and so and some
I know what I'm saying is like they were affected by like worldly events.
Yeah.
So and then like reshoots and rewrites had to happen. And shit got cut out and whatever.
So it's if you take it for what it is, C+, B-, fine movie. A fine movie, a good time to be had. And plus, we get introduced to some things that aren't in the MCU quite yet, which is kind of dope.
I saw Thunderbolts is not doing so hot.
It's like it's not doing in-game numbers, but we got to stop expecting anything to do in-game numbers.
Well, I mean, like what I had saw was that it was currently on pace to lose like $100 million or something.
Yeah, man, it's weird that you spend $300 million on a movie like that, and
yeah. It was like a bad Guardians. Like it was like an all right movie, but like compared to like it had the same feeling of like what a Guardians was, but just not as good as Guardians was.
Yeah,
kind of thought.
Also, just on the real, I'm saying this to be honest. I'm saying it's characters you don't love to death. You know what I'm saying? You know them and you enjoy them. Everybody loves Bucky probably, but you don't really know the rest of these people. You know what I'm saying? You're aware of them. They were in a movie. Like a lot of them, Taskmaster, who, got, whatever, was in a movie. Ghost was in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Her dad, Yelena's dad, was in a movie. Yelena you got 2 doses of if you watched Hawkeye and Black Widow. So you don't know these characters enough to develop a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? So I know what's lacking there. But everybody does seem relatively excited for Fantastic Four because people love Pedro Pascal. So I get that. Any Call of Duty, anything?
No, I haven't played. I played last Friday, but I haven't played since, being sick and everything.
Yeah. Finished up The Last of Us. The Last of Us, not finally, but I'm going to say finally just because there's no other no better way for me to word that. I feel like in this last episode, you get a very, very clear look at what Anthony's been saying this whole time, and that is they are miswriting or misrepresenting Ellie from the video game, and that kind of sucks. Overall, solid episode. What stinks about it is cliffhanger ending for a show that don't come back for 2 years. We can't be doing that no more. That is absolutely bullshit. And I know cable wants to make everything event television, but we used to have whole shows that did 22, 20, 25 episodes a year by year. We need to get back. We need to find the middle ground between those two things. I'm not saying you got to give me 25 episodes of The Last of Us, but you know what you could do? Give me The Last of Us next year as opposed to 2 years from now.
Yeah. I just remember too. Last night I watched the very last episode of Found.
Yeah,
and it was interesting watching it because you can tell that they kind of like they had to chop it together because it's the end. Like it was they canceled the show, so it's the last episode. And so the first like 3 minutes of the show, I felt like I was watching an episode of TV, but on like 1.75 speed because everything was moving so fucking fast. Like the dialogue was zipping around. They were cutting from scene to scene to scene, almost like, all right, bitch, we got to get this in to make this make any kind of sense.
That's crazy, man. How many seasons of that show before they called it?
It went 2.
So not enough that they could actually probably get books or comics or something to maybe give you a little more flesh out the story.
Yeah,
2 seasons they gonna give you that.
It should have probably went at least 3, but
yeah,
you know, at least, and it had an ending of sorts. Like, yeah, you don't really know what'll happen, but like at least it had like an ending.
Yeah,
unlike like Irrational, where it ended on like a cliffhanger, and now I'll never fucking know why they did it or like who the stalker was or whatever.
Man, I think I talked about it last week, but just in case I didn't, I finished up Andor. Andor is amazing. Probably one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars media ever made. I'm not joking. Watch both seasons of Andor and then go into Rogue One and tell me I'm wrong, because I'm not. It is some of the best Star Wars ever written. I need you to know that. Out of the blue, I watched this lady on YouTube. She's currently watching Ted Lasso for the first time. I always love people watch Ted Lasso for the first time because I love seeing people like fall in love with that show. But she just out of the blue put up a video, was like, I'm going to watch the Burn Notice pilot. And I'm like, fuck, bro. I used to watch Burn Notice. It was off and on because I had cable off and on at that time.
I used to watch it back in the day, too. I don't think I ever finished it, but I used to watch it.
Started Burn Notice. Love me some Burn Notice. I'm at season 3, episode 12, I think. God, that show is so fun. It still holds up all these years later. It's funny seeing, early 2000s fashion and hair. Yeah. But
that's how it's been watching The Mentalist, like people calling everybody on flip phones and shit.
That's BlackBerry stuff like that and so forth. But it's been very, very fun to watch. Every week, just a mystery of the week, because that's basically what it is. You got to find out how's Michael gonna get out of this one, and it's been very, very fun to watch that again. It's on Hulu and I think it's on Disney Plus because
Bruce Campbell was really good in that show too.
I love Bruce Campbell, man. So he's fun as Sam. And Fiona and so forth. And
yeah, that's one of them shows where, like, if I was going to go back and watch it, I'd have to start from the beginning because I went so deep that I don't remember where the fuck I left off at.
It's exactly what I did. And so some one fun thing I found in there is, once again, I found a young Michael B. Jordan in a show, and he Michael was working to rescue him. In that same episode, Michael Irving, used to play for the Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, was playing a football coach. He was playing Michael B. Jordan's coach. And I don't know, it's just crazy, man. It's so fun. And so it's like, it's interesting to watch that show because it has all kinds of races, colors, and creeds playing characters in the show. You know what I'm saying? It's very fun. I'm having a good time rewatching Burn Notice and watching episodes that I never saw before and so forth, and kind of like watch ones that I did saw. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this one. This is crazy. And so it's just super fun to watch it. Highly recommend it if you kind of get down with that kind of silly spy mystery of the week type show. It's a good time to be had there.
That was how I felt when I rewatched Psych a couple years ago.
Yeah,
it was like some of the episodes like I was a little fuzzy on, but some of them I was like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. Good time to be had. And I never finished Burn Notice. As it turns out, Burn Notice went 7 seasons and a movie, and there are books.
They had a movie.
Yeah. So a TV movie, I think. I don't think it was like theatrical release or anything like that. But I'm like, this is great. Hell yeah, serve it up. I'm gonna.
Well, I think like part of the thing is like we're getting so jaded by them canceling TV shows after like one 8-episode season that we get into that we're like, well, fuck it. Why am I going to commit to something you're going to get immediately rid of when I can just go back and watch something that has 7, 8, 9 seasons that I know like stood the test of time.
Yeah, that in theory had a complete story. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully wrapped up okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where we are in all of this. I am started. So to say I'm playing is whatever. I'm just a little bit into Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It's a role-playing game, and I don't really normally play role-playing games, but I'd heard such good things about it. I was like, let me give it a start. It's gorgeous. It is interesting. The what's it called? Turn-based battles aren't turning me off too much, so I'm having a pretty good time with that game. From the little bit I have played of it, it's on Game Pass Unlimited, and if you have Xbox, and it's on. You can buy it on PlayStation if you want to do that. By the time this episode comes out, I will have the Nintendo Switch 2 in my midst, and I was talking about maybe unboxing it live after I get it on these here formats. So if you see us go live late next Wednesday, you know what it is. It's me unboxing a Switch, and we'll see how that all plays out. Yeah. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I have a song that I put in here, but I can't play it right now because I don't have that microphone hooked up. Don't worry, it'll be in post. I'll drop it underneath here. Do a solid. Please tune in every Thursday, as that is when we post shows, but also when we record, usually around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can typically join us in the chat on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure you like and comment on YouTube, and please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the show financially, you got a few bucks to toss away. Consider joining us over on Patreon. Members at the $5 tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We also have merch available over at tpublic.com/user stays Krunchy and milk, all one word. Krunchy, of course, being spelled with G. And feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. And hear from who we have. Let me jump over here to the old Google Voice. And this is the homie Slater. Hey, guys. I started listening to the Murderbot books because of your recommendation, and it's been pretty good so far. I did the first one via regular audiobook on Libby. When looking at the second one, found they have graphic audio versions of each book. Let me tell you, Bill. I went back because I own multiple copies of the Murderbot books on Audible, but I don't own the graphic audio ones. I went back and checked out all the graphic audio versions and re-listened to all of those because they're so much better. The graphic audio versions are full cast, music, sound effects, and so forth and so on. It says it when you start the book, a movie for your mind. Highly recommend the graphic audio versions. I'm glad you grabbed those. Did you listen to the regular one, narrator, or the graphic version? And like I said, I've listened to both. Looking up the book's titles and order on Goodreads, found there's a short story between 4 and 5 called Home, Habitat, Range, Niche, and Territory. I have read the short stories. They were in Wired magazine, I do believe. It's set before a network effect, and we get to see Murderbot through a POV that's not its own. It's like it's a look at Mensa and her PTSD from the events of Exit Strategy. It's nothing major, but it's a good filler between the two books. There isn't audio for it, but if you Google it, you can read it. I haven't started the show yet, neither have I. Seeing the episodes are 30 minutes each, I'm going to let a few build up first. I hate that it's 30 minutes each. That show, well, I guess it's based on novellas and 2 novels. I guess I can see why it should be 30 minutes, but still. Looking forward to your thoughts on the show's adaptation. Bill. P.S. Did the Cadillac break down? There hasn't been a show in 2 months. Hopefully Chalfie's okay. Nobody mentioned anything on PSVG either. I don't have any social media anymore. Maybe I missed an update. Homeboy, worry not. Chalfie's oldest son started taking courses that required him to be busy on the time we normally record Cadillac. But we seem to believe we're going to be coming back here in the month of June. It might not be out on June 1st, because normally Chalfie tries to put them out on the 1st of the month. But we should have an episode in June. Like I said, I already talked about that, so we should be good to go there. Yeah, there you go. A little more than an hour, but not much more than an hour. Plus, the good chunk of that's gonna go away because I wasn't here. I wasn't involved. Our missing man is the 216's own Tatum. He was just talking the other day about getting a computer for recording on. So I assume his return to regular shows is sooner than later. That is, of course, Lunchbox 2099 on the podcast. That's what's up. I am the internet's Tay-Rail 713. Don't make me push you into traffic. We'll do it again next time.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.
Stays Crunchy and milk.